Hello everyone, welcome to Hometalk. I'm Julie McDowell with Dandelions and Poppies. Let's get started. In today's episode, I'm going to turn this little side table into a bohemian treasure. The first thing I have done is clean it very thoroughly with very hot soapy water and rinse that off. And now I'm going to sand. Once I've sanded it all, I then remove any dust with a microfiber cloth. And now I'm ready to do my tabletop. What I plan to do is to decoupage this wonderful material to the top. So I have cut the fabric, which is 100% cotton, larger than the surface by about a couple of inches all round. That's important. Don't cut it to fit the size of the surface. But before I stick it down, I'm going to paint. And it's always a good idea when you're decoupaging with paper or fabric to paint the surface first and choose a colour that's in the fabric. In this instance, I'm going to paint it red, as that's the predominant colour. So I'm just going to paint all over the top. Once this is all painted, we leave it to dry, and then we come back and apply the fabric. My paint is dry now, so now I'm going to stick the fabric onto the top. And I'm going to use for this another Country Chic product. It is their clear coat. It is a water-based product, and it is what you would use to top coat over paint. But I'm actually going to use this product as my glue to stick the fabric down. So I'm going to apply this very liberally all over the top. I will then put the fabric on top of the glue. Okay, that's well saturated now. So take my fabric that I did iron actually before I plan to use it, and placing it like that. Using my hands, I'm going to smooth down all over. You can wear gloves to do this if you like, but I really like to be able to feel what I'm doing. So now that is all flat and in place, I'm now going to apply another coat of the clear coat on top. And this time I'm going to go over the edges of the fabric. And that also is a very important step. Right, that's completely covered now, and the edges, so I will now leave that to dry. While it is drying, I'm going to take the opportunity to paint the rest of the table, to paint the legs. My table is now painted and dry, and so is the fabric. So I'm going to show you how we remove these extra pieces. So the first thing you do, and well, I'm doing on this table because of the design of it, I'm pushing the fabric back on itself and using an x-acto knife and the blunt side of the blade, I'm running that along to give myself a guide as to where I'm going to cut. Then, very carefully, put your blade through the fabric, and do this so you can see it, and pulling away from the table, run the blade through the fabric like that. And once you get going on it, it kind of takes up its own momentum and just keeps going. Now, the next most important bit is that we're going to sand this fabric. And I've got some 400 grit sandpaper here, which I'm going to use because it's a new piece. You can also use a 220 sanding sponge, but I don't have a clean one and I don't want to mark the fabric. So using this, I'm going to sand all over. And as soon as you do it, you will feel a difference in the fabric. It now feels really, really smooth, whereas before the top coat had a kind of grainy feel to it. Now it is smooth. Then we take our top coat again, and this time I'm using a really soft synthetic brush because I don't want any brush strokes to be apparent. So I've got my same top coat here, and I'm going to apply a coat all over the top again. Okay. And now, leaving that to dry yet again, we will then come back and we'll sand it again. And now it feels like silk. So I'm going to give it another coat of my top coat. And this is really going to build up nicely. And here is my little boho table. The top has got a really durable surface on it now, and you would never guess that that was fabric. Thank you for watching Home Talk. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time.